Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I will, and I'll drop my voice an octave too, if that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I'm very pleased to be here tonight. I was asked to lead off the roast. With all of the important and impressive people that Dave know, they chose me to do this, so I don't know why I'm here either. But in any case, you know why we're here. We're here to raise money for Dave, actually, because he needs a haircut. It hasn't, as you've seen some of these pictures here, I mean, it clearly hasn't changed in like 50 years. And he actually needs some clothing also, as you know. He only owns a Hawaiian shirt and what he has on this evening. So we're gonna put the money to a good use. Actually, that's not true. We're here because the school needs money. And in fact, they need money so badly that they've invited Ray Warner here as a reminder that if things don't go well tonight, they're going to be filing a petition for bankruptcy on Monday. So please be very generous with your time and money. As you know, the university has had some issues with fundraising recently, but Dean Simons has assured me that everything that we raise this evening is going to the law school. And I trust Mike. He's a great guy. He's a great father, a good man, a wonderful dean. And if you've ever seen his car, you know that he's not stealing the money. I'm not one really for lots of material things, but Mike drives a car that college students that deliver pizza would be like, they'd be embarrassed to drive. But I mean, I can't blame him. He has like 15 children, I think, at this point, so that explains that. And I am very sad to see that the more menacing Simons unfortunately didn't make it this evening. He would have, but he was out of outrageous-looking bow ties, so he couldn't bring himself to dress like a normal person and show up this evening. You know, when I first started law school, Andy Simons was one of my first professors. And everything I had heard about law school up until that time was very intimidating. So it was very reassuring when I first came to school and saw this professor that looked like a combination between, you know, Mr. Clean and a Superman villain. With the facial hair, he's so intimidating. And sadly, he did not make things more real comfortable, but once you know him, he's a wonderful man. I do see that Larry Joseph is here also, and Professor, I never had the pleasure of taking your classes, but Dave has told me that you're quite the eccentric artist type, so I hope that you like this, otherwise I'm in real trouble and I hope to leave here alive with your temper. I'm happy that Dave's family could make it here tonight as well. I've been fortunate enough to meet Garris on a number of occasions. And I'll echo what Mike said, you should definitely be elevated to sainthood. I've never met your son though. Is Davey here? Dave? I'm very pleased to finally get a chance to meet you also. I've known your father for a number of years now, and you can stop lying. I know that you pretend to be devoted to scholarship and the greater good, but I know you just needed to get out of the house. You're far away, and I support that. And by the way, you know, I don't blame you for moving far away, because I would move far away also. If my father looked like this. Every morning. I'll just pause a moment for dramatic effect, because most people who know Dave well enough know that this is standard attire. I think this has been it was in my graduation party. Sadly, you did not don a Hawaiian shirt for my wedding. I've yet to see any mourning done in Hawaiian shirts, but I expect that you wear it anytime, any place. Putting aside his fashion sense, though, Dave has had some very good sense to surround himself by a wonderful, accomplished family. And yes, I'm going to keep this wig on for the remainder of this. And the family is so accomplished that that it's hard not to feel badly about yourself sometimes when you get the Christmas card. I don't know if any of you have had the pleasure of getting the Gregory it's a very long story, and I'm happy to get them, so please put me back on the list. I was kicked off this year. But it goes something like this usually. Dear all, it's been one long crazy year. I've been teaching about 54 classes in the fall semester. I've written about 15 articles, and hosted 34 conferences with a veritable who's who. You know you've heard that term before, haven't you? Including one conference that worked on the interplay between law, religion, blues music, and pastry chefs. Really, the chairman of the NLRB, the commissioner for the MLB, Moses, and the Dalai Lama all showed up. And the Lama can really play guitar, so that was really something else. Garris has been keeping very busy as well, as has Davey, who's recently authored several of his own articles and received praise from that recent guy, Francis. And then, I'm left at the end of this thinking, all I did this year was just go to work, and my wife and I had like a summer barbecue, and we felt pretty good about it. Dave and his family has accomplished all this stuff over the course of the year. But it also, I guess I have to take this off, because this is the serious part. All joking aside, Dave is a wonderful person, a devoted family man, and the kind of mentor that all teachers should aspire to be. After speaking with Dave, there is no obstacle that seems insurmountable in your own life. He's always in your corner, believing that you can achieve things even when you don't think that you can. I can tell you from personal experience that my professional and personal life would be much different without having met Dave. Going back to what Mike said earlier about Dave being a master of taking things into action, when I first met Dave, I had a class with him, but then shortly after that, I had the opportunity to co-author an article with him, and he asked me on the spot, hey, would you like to co-author this article? And he turned in his office, and he said, I'll show you the program from when I did this back in 2002. And he reached into a stack of papers. That was, I'm not exaggerating when I say it's nearly to the ceiling, and stuck his hand in the center of it, as if he had a mental note of where everything was and the millions of papers strewn about the office. And after seconds of fumbling, pulled out the schedule from the prior conference. I said, it'd be great if you could write this article. I said, sure, that'd be great. Oh, and you can present it too in London. Would you want to do that? And I said, that'd be a wonderful experience. And he turned to his computer and wrote, now you're in the program. There you go. Don't we have to have anybody else approve? No. That's it. Get writing. But the real highlight of that entire experience was when Dave was writing up the results of the conference and coverage of it. There was an article on my wife now wife, had gone to the conference with us, and there was a picture there, and she was listed as my fiance, but we weren't engaged yet. So as I said to him, I'm glad that he picked the right girl for me. I wanted to marry her anyway, but I had absolutely no choice after that. I had to. So thank you for picking even a good girl for me. That's really it. I didn't have an eloquent end, but you've been you're a wonderful man. You've been such a positive person in my life, and I can't thank you enough.